Hi, I'm Gary White with Channel 6, Central Kentucky Television, and I'm here with Luke Freeze, but actually you're at the Nelson County Extension Office there.
I am. We're quarantining ourselves in our offices, but we're still here, so that's good.
That's a good thing. And we normally would be getting together there to do our Cooking Through the Calendar. It's the 2020 Food and Nutrition Calendar from the University of Kentucky Extension Services. But since we are social distancing and quarantining, I'm doing it from my kitchen here, and you're doing it from the kitchen there. But we're still going to make it so you can still take part in our Cooking Through the Calendar. We didn't want to skip April, because April is going to be turkey stuffed peppers.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. I actually cheated and did my magic oven, so I've got half of the recipe in the oven already. And since we're doing this at noon, it works out really well because we get to eat lunch afterwards.
Exactly. You get to eat it afterwards.
Right.
And then maybe eating dinner.
That's right. For you, you're gonna have like 8 peppers, Gary. So you're gonna have meals for days.
Exactly. I'll be hungry. So, as we said, this is turkey stuffed peppers. And to get started for this already, we had 8 bell peppers and we cut them in half, right?
Yes. And we cored them, and so you're gonna take that core out and all the little white fibers in the middle, and then take all the seeds out. The seeds and the fiber are gonna add a little spice to it if you left them in, and then you're not gonna be able to fill them quite as well whenever we're ready to stuff them. So yours look good as well, Gary. I've actually got my oil heating too.
Okay.
So it asks for 2 tablespoons, I believe, of oil.
Uh-huh.
You can pick which oil you want. I picked olive oil just because it has good omega 3s and 6s in it, and we're told that's good for us. So I used olive oil.
Okay.
But like I said before, I've halved this recipe, so Gary's going to be doing the full recipe at his house, and then I halved it so I could put half of them in the oven before we started. So I'm only going to do 1 tablespoon of oil.
Okay.
Or sorry, 1 teaspoon of oil. There's 2 teaspoons of oil. And you also called for a small onion, so I did half of a small onion. I have that chopped here.
Okay, cool. I have an onion chopped here too.
All right. So I don't know if Gary's oil is ready to go yet. He might still be heating, but I'm going to go ahead and put my onion in my pan along with my oil.
You can hear it sizzle.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mine was already ready to go. So we're going to cook these onions until they're translucent. So it's not going to take too long because we're just going to saute them a little bit. Then we're going to put my oven's beeping. Then we're going to put the turkey in with it. So my cheating baking beforehand is done. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those out.
Okay. So I have the onions in the pan, and while you're doing that, I'm just going to quickly go over the recipe or the ingredients that we're going to be using.
Yeah.
So it's we used some nonstick cooking spray to spray the pan for the peppers that were in half and cored and everything.
Yes, so I've already sprayed mine, and you've sprayed yours too, Gary?
Yes.
Just place those peppers kind of face up so you're ready to fill them.
And you have lots of different colors. You have some green in there. I have yellow, orange, and red. What colors do you have?
I have the yellow, orange, and red, and then I threw a green pepper in there. I bought the variety pack with all the colors, and then I just added a green pepper. So, you know me, I'm all about these colors.
Exactly. Very colorful. So we had 4 medium bell peppers, any colors. Then you're going to have 2 teaspoons of oil, a small onion chopped, which we've already put in there with the oil. It's going to be ground turkey, garlic powder, cumin, chili powder, black beans, salsa, brown rice, and shredded Mexican blend or cheddar cheese. So that's all of our ingredients that we're going to eventually be using for this dish for us.
Right, and I know some people, even here at my office, they're not fans of cumin. Cumin's kind of a strong flavor, so if you have people in your household that don't like cumin, you could substitute paprika, or you could just leave it out.
Okay. Okay.
So I've got my turkey here. My onions are getting to a point where they're translucent. So I'm just using half of everything that you just listed.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and throw in half of that package of turkey. I believe it's a pound of turkey.
Okay. So now I'm going to add my turkey breast. So this is a pound of turkey, and I'm going to be adding that now to it.
So again, with ground turkey, you don't have your fancy apron on today, Gary, that tells you what temperature you need to cook it to, but we're just looking for it to be all the pink to be cooked out of it, and for it to be completely brown. So it's going to cook a little bit in this pan, and we'll have it completely brown, and then it'll cook again in the oven when we pop it in there.
Okay. So far we had our 2 teaspoons of oil into my pan here. I've added 1 pound of ground turkey, and I'm cooking that up so far. Okay.
Yeah, so the next step eventually will be to add the seasoning. Now, I've put all my seasoning in one bowl so I can just sprinkle it on top. I don't know if you have yours measured out yet or not, Gary.
Yeah, I have them measured out, each in their individual little container.
There you go. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and add mine in there. I've got them, like I said, Gary did it better than I did. He put all of them separate, but I've got all mine here in this bowl. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in to let it soak up all the flavors of the seafood. Again, this one doesn't call for much salt. You'll get a lot of flavor just with those seasonings. So we try to reduce sodium. It's a little better for us, but we're still going to get all that flavor.
I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of garlic powder.
Yes.
Just on top of all the good stuff in there.
2 teaspoons garlic
I'm going to
powder.
add 2 teaspoons of cumin, but you said that's what you could substitute if somebody doesn't like cumin, right?
Right. Substitute or leave it out, but I put paprika in mine because I have someone in my office that doesn't like cumin, and I don't want to waste the food. So I thought she'd be able to eat it if it didn't have the cumin in it.
Okay. And then also, we have chili powder. So we're going to have a little kick to this, right?
Oh, yeah. And even as the ones that I cooked came out of the oven, I thought, man, it'd be good to put a little hot sauce on top of there too. So I like things spicy, but you can cook to how you prefer as far as taste goes.
Okay. So I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of chili powder as well.
Yeah.
We have our 3 spices in there now.
That should get your kitchen smelling pretty good, Gary. I'll kind of show mine. That's the turkey, onions, and then all the seasonings in there. It's brown. So I'm probably about ready for the next step, but I'm going to wait for Gary to kind of catch up so we can do this all at one time.
Yeah, I'm still getting there. I'm not brown yet.
That's okay.
I'm still pink. I haven't gotten my skin tan yet.
He's not quite matured just yet. He's still waiting, but it'll go pretty quickly. I think it calls next for the black beans, the rice, and the salsa. You can pick whichever salsa that you like. You might have a flavor of salsa that you like. Some of them have more of like a fired, smoky taste. Some of them have more of a sweet, spicy taste. So it's up to you, whichever salsa you usually use in whatever dishes you like. I would go ahead and just use that salsa. Today I did a fiery tomatillo salsa. So we'll see how that tastes. but it's up to you, your preference, or what you have in the fridge. I was gonna mention too. I saw Gary cooking his rice.
Okay. What'd you say?
I said I saw you cooking rice in a pan. I was just gonna mention that if you can or you have this available, a rice cooker, it makes it really easy. You can turn it on and leave it, and you can buy just single serve rice cookers for like $5 or so at Kroger. So. Or any big box store, Walmart, whatever you prefer, wherever you shop. So just keep that in mind. A lot of these dishes that we have in the calendar, they call for rice or cooked rice. So that'll make things a little bit easier on you. Gary's disappeared.
Okay. I think I'm getting there with my turkey.
All right. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add my black beans. And I've taken mine off the burner just so it doesn't get too hot and burn my turkey. I'm going to add my black beans. I've got my cooked brown rice. Now, brown rice is a whole grain, so that's a little better for us than white rice. Still has the whole and all the good nutrients in it. So I'm going to add that. And then I've got a half cup of salsa. It calls for a full cup if you're doing the full recipe, I believe, right, Gary? I'm going to go ahead and add that in there as well.
Okay, so I saw you add the black beans. I'm adding the rice now as well.
Perfect.
And then you're going to add the salsa to cook up, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
And all we're trying to do with the beans, the salsa, and the rice, since it's all already cooked, is just kind of warm it up to a point and mix it up to a point where we can scoop it into our peppers.
Okay. Let me add the salsa in here. So the black beans, I used it from a can. Is that what you did?
I did, but if you have a bag of black beans, you can cook those. There are different ways to cook them, but they usually have on the package how to cook those. You can cook them in like a pressure cooker, electric pressure cooker, like an Instant Pot that they have, or you can cook them whatever the bag says, in a pot on the stovetop.
Okay.
I think you can even cook them in a slow cooker, but they do take a little time. So for ease and convenience, if you do have the black beans in a can, that's good. I did notice at the store that the black beans were in a little short supply. So if you can only find the bag variety, you can use those as well.
It may take a little more time.
That's okay.
Okay. Well, this looks like a lot of food.
Yeah, that's why I said you're going to be eating for days there, Gary. So yeah, if you have, let's see, this says it makes 8 servings. So if you're just cooking for 1 or 2, maybe half it. Then you only have to buy 2 bell peppers. You use half the ingredients. And then you don't have so much left over that you could potentially waste. So
right. Now, so we added, like we said, it was a cup of black beans for the full recipe. It was a cup of black beans and a cup of salsa and a cup of brown rice that had already been cooked. So I cooked that prior to preparing, right? Yeah. And also at the beginning, I turned the oven on, so we preheated to 375 because what we're going to do next is stuff the peppers, right?
Correct. So yeah, that preheating the oven, that's usually the first thing in a recipe if it requires an oven, is to preheat it. So I sometimes forget, Gary, but Gary keeps me in line and lets you know what you need to do. So definitely preheat your oven so that whenever these are ready to go in, you can just pop them in. You don't have to wait for that 15 or 20 minutes for it to preheat.
Yeah. So I'm going to show on here. It's quite a lot of food in there.
Yeah, yours looks great, Gary. What kind did you use? Like a sweet kind of salsa, chunky salsa? What kind did you go with?
I used a Mexican authentic salsa.
Oh,
Medium. I know you like spicy.
He used the fresh variety.
What'd you say?
I said you used the fresh variety.
Yes. Yeah. For it.
All right. I think I'm ready to stuff, Gary, but you can take.
You ready to stuff the peppers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to try to get a pepper close to the camera so that they can see how this works. But you can just use a spoon, and you're just going to kind of press it into all the edges of the pepper so that you completely fill it up. And that we use all of those ingredients. Gary said there is a lot. There is a lot if you're stuffing 8 peppers. So when you're done stuffing 1/2 of the pepper, it looks kind of like this. So looks fine.
Hold on. Let me get a close-up on it for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we're just going to place that. Once you have 1/2 filled, you'll place it back in the spot you had it in your baking dish. And then you can pick up the next one and stuff the next one. So really, this would be a good thing to do if you have kids at home. They would probably love helping you stuff the peppers. And then, of course, it's almost like cookie dough. If you want to take a bite of the turkey and beans and rice, you can do that too. So you're probably going to have a little bit of leftover, depending on how big your pepper is.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fun.
Oh, I got red and I got green. I'm like hoping for Christmas over here, apparently.
Hopefully we'll be able to be cooking in the kitchen again by Christmas.
Let's hope so. I know everybody's ready to kind of see new faces or see faces they haven't seen in a while. So hopefully we can get to that point soon. Gary, are you stuffing now?
Okay. And I did wash my hands before I started this.
Yeah, it's always important. Wash the fronts and backs under fingernails. They say for 20 seconds. There's all different kinds of songs you can sing now that are 20 seconds long. Make sure you wash them for the right amount of time.
Okay.
I actually
stuff mine good and full.
We had all kinds of hand sanitizer left over from 4-H camp, so we are stocked here at the office. We've been sanitizing hands, and kind of the way things are right now. But it's always a good practice to make sure that your hands are clean, especially when you're feeding other people.
Okay. I'm going to wash my hands again while I'm standing here. So we have our 8 stuffed peppers. There you go.
Yeah, so I've got 4 here. My other 4 just came out of the oven not too long ago, so we'll get to show you the end result too eventually.
Absolutely. Cool. And so I have 8 of them here.
And you made quick work of that stuffing. So the next step, Gary, is to add the cheese on top.
Right.
So I've got 1/4 of a cup of cheese. You probably have 1/2 of a cup of cheese. And that's just because I split the recipe in half. So we're just going to use that to sprinkle cheese on the top. And you can find reduced fat cheese, and if you can, that's obviously a little bit better for us. Reduces our saturated fat intake. So you can find that variety at the store. That's great. If not, if this is what you have the regular variety at home, that's okay too.
Okay. So do we put the cheese on before we cook it?
Yes. So I've got the cheese on mine here.
Mm-hmm.
If you want your bell peppers to be a little more cooked without burning the cheese on top, you could put them in the oven and then halfway through put the cheese on.
Okay.
But it's going to ask us to cover it in foil, and that foil is going to hopefully reduce that burning and just have it kind of steam inside of your baking dish. So you're trying to get your bell peppers to be soft but not burn the cheese on top.
Okay. So I have my peppers all covered with cheese.
Perfect.
So now I need to cover the peppers with
Foil. Tin foil, yes. And I didn't have tin foil at the office, full disclosure. So what we did have, and maybe you have one, maybe you don't, but we had a pie plate. And so a foil pie plate. So I just put that over the top of my baking dish.
Okay. I have some foil here.
And as Gary's kind of working through that, I'm just going to take these out of the baking dish and put them on a plate.
So now I have it covered with foil and I put it into the oven for 30 minutes.
You got it.
Okay.
So I kind of like my cheese. I don't like it to be as melty. I kind of like a crispy top. So I left the foil off for the first 15 minutes and then put the foil on. You could do it vice versa. It's kind of up to you. But when they come out, they look a lot like this. And I wish Gary was here to try these with me.
So do I.
I don't know if we'll be able to eat all of them, and I don't know if we have 30 minutes to wait for his to cook. But
well, I'm glad you showed us what they look like because I have mine in there for 30 minutes. So I'm just going to recap what we did here for our recipe. It's the turkey stuffed peppers, and it's the April recipe for the food and nutrition calendar. We're cooking through the calendar, even though we're not in the same room. We're still be able to do this, just like they'd be doing at home, right? And I'll say you did a great job walking me through the steps. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You had it all ready, Gary. I don't think you even needed me, but you did a great job.
So the ingredients, we started off, we had 4 medium bell peppers that we halved, cored, and took the seeds out. And then we put those, which became 8 because we halved them, into a cooking pan that we put nonstick cooking spray on top of, right?
Yeah.
Then we had 2 teaspoons of oil, 1 small onion chopped, 1 pound of ground turkey, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 cup of black beans, 1 cup salsa, 1 cup brown rice already cooked, and a half a cup of shredded Mexican blend or cheddar cheese. Now, which did you use, the Mexican blend or the cheddar cheese?
I used the Mexican blend.
So did I.
Because you've got the orange and you've got the white, more of a color thing, but it also tastes just a little bit different, I guess. But either one will work just fine.
Perfect. And then it was kind of like a one-pan meal, too.
Yeah, it is. Cleanup is pretty easy. I did want to mention, too, a lot of people don't think about bell peppers having a lot of vitamin C in them, but actually bell peppers have more vitamin C than some oranges do. So when we're talking about immune systems and enhancing those and strengthening them, vitamin C is one thing that's essential in doing that. So are the other ones, A, E, D. But vitamin C is really important for our immune systems, and so bell peppers can help with that.
Fantastic. So it's a great meal And if you wanted to make it a meal, you could also add some pineapple or pear slices.
Yeah, so we've got our dairy, we've got some protein, we've got vegetables. The only thing we're really missing in this one is our fruit. So any fruit that you have on hand. You know me, I like to go for strawberries and blueberries, but if peaches and pears are your thing, more than welcome to do that too.
Great. And you want to show us one more time what they look like when you're all done?
Yeah. So there they are there. Like I said, mine got a little crispy on top, but as long as you have that foil, it'll melt that cheese. And then if you don't want to put the cheese on just yet, you want to sprinkle it on, then put it in the oven for a couple more minutes and just barely melt the cheese. It just depends on how you like your texture.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Luke.
Oh, thank you. It's good to see your face. And hopefully soon we'll be able to get together back in the kitchen and we won't have to buy all kinds of ingredients to cook at home.
Exactly. Because we do have May coming up, and May is lettuce wraps.
Oh, man.
So that would be
sounds
fun.
pretty good. Yeah, no, this calendar, and we actually have more copies of the calendar. So if you want one, we're closed to the public in our open spaces, our public spaces, but our foyer has all kinds of these types of publications. You can get a calendar. We're still doing soil tests. So if you want to bring in a soil test, maybe you're trying to start your own garden, so you have your own lettuce, your own peppers, that kind of thing. We've got soil tests still available. You can find all information that we've got from the university on our Facebook page. Just search Nelson County Extension, and then once Gary shoots this recording over to me, I'll post that as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy your lunch.
You too, and stay healthy.
All right.
All right, thank you. This has been Cooking Through the Calendar, and I'm Gary White for Channel 6 Television.